Good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Tat Savitra Varenyam, Vargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Asto ma satgamya, tamso ma jyotirgamya, mrityorma mritam gamya. Om Sahna Vavtu Sahna Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahi Tejasvi Navaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti 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 Om. Let's open our little books, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, on page number 222. That's where we are starting. This is a new section, and this section is called Gargi Brahman. And these sections are on the names of these great, you can call them students or the rishis or the yogis, practitioners. And often we hear the names which are male names. Over here we see a female student also, Gargi. So the question is asked by her and the answer is given by Rishi Yagyavalkya, just like in the previous sections also. Question is, what is the ultimate cause of this world? And how does it stand in relation to that ultimate cause? So what is the ultimate cause and what is the relationship between that ultimate cause? So this section, just one long verse where we see the discussion, the question as well as the answer. And the answer is that Brahma is the ultimate cause of all this universe. And this universe is non-different from Brahma. This is what we're going to learn. This world, which is said to be an effect, is really non-different from Brahma, the cause. So you can say that cause and the effect are one. It's just like an ocean and the water. Or as a lump of clay, and if the jar is made out of clay, cause and effect are the same. The effect is perceived only when the cause is present in it. Otherwise, it does not. A pot or a cloth will not exist when the clay or the thread of which they are constituted is absent. So that's why we can say the effect is non-different from its cause. But then some people might argue, how about the smoke? That there is no fire in the smoke, and smoke is caused by fire. So that smoke, being the effect of fire, ought to contain fire in it, according to this view. Reply to that is that smoke is not the effect of fire. Smoke is really the effect of the dampness in the fuel. If the wood is damp, there's a water in it, smoke will come. The damp fuel comes in contact with the fire and smokes off its earthly particles. So smoke and the fuel are identical. And we can recognize the fuel in the smoke. So this is proved by the fact that the smoke has smell just as the fuel has. The smell of the smoke is generally of the same nature as that of the fuel. So just like when we burn an incense, it smells differently than we burn wood or kerosene oil. So the phenomena of the universe is seen because of the Brahma. Universe is non-different from Brahma because it was existent in Brahma even prior to its manifestation. It exists in Brahma only during its manifestation, dissolves or disappears finally in the Brahma alone. So it's just like waves are coming from the ocean, they rise and then ultimately they submerge back into the ocean because they are nothing but the water. So this section, Gargi Brahman, states that the effect is pervaded by its cause, the limited by the unlimited, gross by the subtle, and the law of cause and effect is applicable in this relative universe in space and time, but does not exist in the absolute, because absolute transcends space, time, and causation. Let's look at this verse now, page number 222. Ath Hanam Gargi Vachak Navi Prach Yage Valkyeti Vach Yad Idam Sarvam Svotam Cha Protam Cha Kasminu Khalvap Otashva Protasheti Vayu Gargiti Kasminu Khalu Vayur Otash Protash iti Antariksha Lokeshu Garg iti Kasminu Khalvantra अंतरिक्ष लोकः उताश्व प्रोताश्च इति गंधर्व लोकेषु गार्ग इति कस्मिन्नु खलु गंधर्व लोका उताश्व प्रोताश्च इति आदित्य लोकेषु गार्ग इति कस्मिन्नु खलु आदित्य लोकः उताश्व प्रोताश्च इति चंद्र लोकेषु गार्ग इति कस्मिन्नु खलु चंद्र लोका उताश्च प्रोताश्चिति नक्षत्र लोकेषु गार्गिति कस्मिनु खलु नक्षत्र लोका उताश्च प्रोताश्चिति देवलोकेषु गार्गिति कस्मिनु खलु देवलोका उताश्च प्रोताश्च इति इंद्रलोकेषु गार्गिति कस्मिनु खलु इंद्रः लोका उताश्च प्रोताश्चिति प्रजापति लोकेषु गार्गिति कस्मिनु खलु प्रजापति लोकः उताश्च प्रोताश्चिति ब्रह्मलोकेषु गार्गिति कस्मिनु खलु ब्रह्मलोका उताश्च प्रोताश्चिति स होवाच गार्गिः मातिः प्राक्षी माते मूर्धा व्यपतत अनतिप्रश्न्याम हे देवताम त्रिपृश्यसि गार्गिः मातिः प्राक्षिर इति ततः गार्गिः वाचक्व अन्वयूप उपरामः इति षष्ठम ब्राह्मणम. So then Gargi, the daughter of Vachkanu, so that is the name of the father of Gargi, Vachkanu, questioned him. Yagyavalkya said, or she said to Yagyavalkya, when all this is pervaded by water, by what is water pervaded? By air. Gargi. What pervades air? The world of the sky. Gargi. What pervades the world of the sky? The world of Gandharvas. What pervades the world of the Gandharvas? The world of the sun, Gargi. What pervades the world of the sun? The world of the moon, Gargi. What pervades the world of the moon? The world of the stars, Gargi. What pervades the world of the stars? The world of the gods, Gargi. And gods over here is those devatas. What pervades the world of the gods? The world of Indra, Gargi. Indra is the king of the devatas. What pervades the world of Indra? The world of Viraj, Gargi. What pervades the world of Viraj? The world of Hiranyagarbha, Gargi. What pervades the world of Hiranyagarbha? He said, do not, O Gargi, question too far, lest your head should fall off. You are verily questioning about a deity, Gargi, who is not to be known through reasoning. Do not ask too far. Thereupon Gargi, the daughter of Vachaknu, kept quiet. So these are like a pariprashan. So the student or Gargi, as a student over here, is asking Rishi Yajnavalkya. We saw in the previous section Kahola, Rishi Kahola. He was satisfied. He sat down. So after he sat down, the Gargi, the daughter of Vachaknu, stood up, and these questions are coming from her. And as you saw in this mantra, she started by saying that this gross earth is founded in or pervaded by water. See, water is subtler than the earth. We are talking about the earth element over here. Earth element, then water, then fire, then air, then space. Okay? So grosser is pervaded by the subtler. So this is what she is saying, that this gross earth is founded in or pervaded by water. As an effect is by a cause. And the scriptures also say that the earth element is a manifestation of the water element. So earth is the effect of water, its cause. As the cause pervades the effect, just like those threads in a cloth, water pervades the earth element. Water is the support of the earth. And earth is also founded on water. And what is the support for water then? Even as water is the support for earth? This is the very first question put by Gargi. And Yajnavalkya replied that water is pervaded by air, which is finer and subtler than water, and which is its cause. Air supports water. Then Gargi pushed further and asked for the cause of air. Through a series of questions that followed, they passed on the gross to the subtle and then to more subtle manifestations. By passing through the intermediate worlds to the worlds of the sun, also the moon, the stars, the gods, the Indra, Virat. Virat is what? Prajapati. And finally arrived at the world of Brahma, Hiranyagarbha. The firstborn, the supreme person, the cosmic Pran, mind and intellect. first manifested cause of the universe, Brahma. But Gargi did not stop. She questioned Yajnavalkya as to the cause of Hiranyagarbha. But Yajnavalkya protested and warned her not to disregard the proper and accepted method of inquiry into the nature of the supreme deity. This logical reasoning we can use only up to a certain point. After that, this logic does not apply. That's why he is stopping him. And even to understand and attain the state of Hiranyagarbha, the individual intellect must dissolve into its universal counterpart. When the human intellect has no more existence, where is the peace for logic then? Because logic comes from the intellect. We really see how frail the intellect is. Intellect can take us only to a certain point. So the cause of Hiranyagarbha is Ishwar. And cause of Ishwar is Brahma. The absolute Ishwar and Brahm are beyond the reach of the instruments of our mind and speech. No matter how eloquently we speak, we cannot speak about Brahm. We can only show the pointers towards Brahm, but we cannot speak. There are no words. And logical argumentation, which depends on these two instruments, mind and or intellect and speech, cannot function beyond the realm of Hiranyagarbha. Anybody who makes an attempt to know the absolute through the intellect will only meet with utter failure. And figuratively, it is said over here, falling off the head. So that means failure. Or in other words, you can say that he has to bend his head, accept the defeat. The only means to know the absolute is to approach the scriptures through a guru. And when we try to understand it with the help of the guru, our head is already bent. We have surrendered. That I cannot understand, please explain it to me. And that's what Arjun did. I am shaking. My mind is swirling. I cannot make the decision. You tell me what to do. Without this, our ego is standing in between. So when Rishi Yajnavalkya said that, Gargi did not question further and resumed her seat. So this mantra is all about that. And the special feature of this section is that both the questioner and the replier actually are knowers of the Atma. Gargi is not just an ordinary student or a priest. She is self-realized. But sometimes these questions are asked for the benefit of others also. The questioner Gargi, a lady saint and a sage, is an adept in logical argumentation. And she is following the logic that every effect should have a cause for our understanding. So that's why she's starting with the earth, which has water as its cause. And in order of the creation, the element earth is shown as having come out of the water element. You have read in the scriptures, there was water everywhere. From the water, earth element came. So water, which is the cause, pervades the earth, its effect. And now this water in its turn is only an effect, and its cause is shown to be air after that. Next question when she asked. Because there is something subtler than water also, which is air. Again, air as the effect, either or the intermediate world comes the cause. And tracing the cause is further to more and more subtler principles, from air to the Akasha also, the space. So this Rishi is enumerating and taking us to the region of the celestial divine beings, then the worlds of the sun, the moon. And these are not the physical sun and moon. They are the original conditions of the planetary system from which all the planets have come out. That's what he's mentioning here. Because for us, this limited intellect, we think this is the sun and the moon. Why he's saying sun before the moon? Because we know sun is beyond moon. But that's not what he's talking about. And going further along the chain of causes and effects, we see subtler realms as the causes of lower, less subtle planes. The world of the stars also. The world of the gods also. The world of Indra also. And then the world of Virat, Prajapati also. The cause or the source of all gross worlds. And the words subtler, they have been used in this verse like a comparatively, in the sense that causes are subtler than the respective effects. That's what we have to remember. The world of Virat is the effect of the world of Hiranyagarbha. Who pervades everything. It's like a thread in a garland of flowers. So if the thread is not in those flowers, the flowers won't be called a garland. The same way. So just like the thread and the flowers are considered different in the empirical realm, Hiranyagarbha and the different worlds with all the objects, actually they are all non-different. But they look different to us. See, just like in our body also, hands look different than the feet, eyes look different than the nose, but there is a one common factor which is keeping them united. Everything here is the one cosmic being called Brahma here, up to this level. And then what is the cause of the world of Brahma, the creator? That was the last question of Gargi in this section. Why I'm saying in this section? Because later on in another chapter, Gargi will come again into the picture. And this last question is not answered by Yajnavalkya on the ground that the question is inadmissible in logic. Reasoning cannot furnish an answer to this question. Intellect can know the cause of effects and not the cause of all causes. So the section closes with a warning from Yajnavalkya that a person should not depend upon logical reasoning to transcend Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic intelligence. As you know, Hiranyagarbha is what? The total mind is called Hiranyagarbha. That's why another term for this is cosmic intelligence, aggregate intelligence. So she sat down. Okay, so in the next section, it has little bit more number of verses over there. And this is called a Antaryami Brahman. And this section deals with the supreme inner controller, the question of the ultimate eminent principle, the Atam Brahma. It's further persuaded over there. Antaryami Brahma. He who knows this principle is alone a knower of truth, a knower of everything. All the worlds, all the gods, all the Vedas, or in other terms, you can say a knower of all in general and in particular, Sarvagya, Sarvavit, and it is also Supreme Pran, the vital force of the cosmos, on which is strung all the worlds and all beings, whether they are sentient or insentient. Just like beads are strung in a thread, where beads are also made up of the same thread. So this great principle dwells in the earth, but is different from the earth. The earth does not know it. The earth is its body. It controls the earth from within. It is the self of the earth and the self of all. And this is the principle that is called by the name of Antaryami, the inner controller, according to this section. The same way, taking other limited objects such as water, fire, sky, air, heaven, sun, directions, moon, ether, darkness, light, all the beings, the vital breath, speech, eye, ear, mind, skin, intellect, and the seed or semen, the Upanishad gives the exposition of the Atma. So when these objects are mentioned over here, they are only illustrative, not exhaustive. It is not possible to give all the list of the objects of the world. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna wanted to know, where are you? Which form? Lord Krishna gave few examples. Even though there were quite a few examples he gave, but he said these are only few of them. It's not possible to mention all of them. The same thing over here. All exhaustive list of objects of this universe we cannot mention. Each and every object and even each and every concept of thought is indwelt by the inner controller, the supreme principle, who is different from it, whom none of them can know, to whom each one becomes a body, who controls it from within, and who is the self of each and everything. Antaryami. And it is this great principle which expresses itself as the individual beings, the celestials, the great five elements, their effects, which are all these worlds are. Actually, they are not many, but only one. Not even one, but the non-dual. Because when we say one, then we might say that there might be another. Non-dual. Being most internal and innermost, it cannot be seen as we see any object. It cannot be seen. So here, when we say that it's internal or internality, is not a physical internality like an object. Just like we put some object in a box and we put box in a room. That's not how it is. So this word, when we use, it's only like a special philosophical sense we use the word internality. Antaryame. It really means pure existence, unobjectified consciousness. Okay, we got to understand this word unobjectified. And why is consciousness called innermost? It is because we cannot perceive it. Because we perceive anything through our senses. Eyes can see it, nose can smell it, hand can touch it. So this cannot be done. We cannot perceive it even as we cannot perceive something kept inside a closed container. We cannot touch it. And it refuses to be externalized. It can never become an object against a subject. It is the self of all. Everything is said to be the body, as it were, of this one self from three aspects. The divine, under which comes the celestials, the objective, under which it's grouped the whole physical world, and the subjective, under which comes the individual. So this is a three ways, three pointers we can use to understand this. So this Upanishad expresses the self as the unseen seer. These are like very simple terms can be used to understand this section. Unseen seer, the unheard hearer, the unthought thinker, and the unknown knower, etc. Because the pure consciousness or awareness cannot have another consciousness or awareness to know it. So the scripture says that it can know everything, but none can know it. It can see everything, but none can see it. It can hear everything, but none can hear it. This proves beyond doubt that whatever is seen by whomsoever, it is that supreme consciousness that sees. And the same thing we can say about hearing, speaking, knowing, thinking. So in summary, you can say it is the ultimate consciousness called by the inner, by the name of Antaryami or inner controller in this section. That is the real doer in all actions, because that's where the energy is coming from. It is the real enjoyer, but at the same time, it is the enjoyment also. So when a person understands this, that everything here is that principle called the Antaryami, to that one there is nothing other to it. And if there happens to be something other to it, right away we should know that that is unreal, almost non-existent. So this is some of the background which we'll be discussing and looking at through these beautiful mantras. In fact, there are quite a few mantras in here. Some of them are small, some of them are big, but altogether 23 mantra in this. And I think we'll start next week with the first one. I just wanted to give you a little details about what we'll be discussing. And this question in this section is put by Udlak. That is the name of that priest, son of Arun. So Antaryami, the internal ruler. Another term we'll see over here, Sutraman, the cosmic string holding all the worlds together. That is Antaryami or Sutraman. So let's stop it here and we'll start with this section next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om.